Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me, doctor? Can you hear me? Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is qualifying ahead of the 2022 Spanish Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, please do consider subscribing because I will be live for every single qualifying session and race in the Formula 1 World Championship, as well as preview shows, news updates and some practice sessions, so get yourself subscribed. And if you want to support the channel, do hit the like button because listen, this is the only way I'm going to get noticed on YouTube. We get the likes, we get the comments in, you know, we need you guys to interact as much as possible and we can get this channel up and running and flying before we know it. So this is qualifying and I am absolutely pumped for this, and I know I say that every time, but this is different. This is different. Why is it different? Because Mercedes are back. Mercedes are back in the running. We've seen it in Friday practice yesterday, a hint of it, and then boom, 2 hours ago, FP3, boom, rapid. Mercedes are back. We've got a 6-horse race for pole position. I'm absolutely, mate, this is the golden nugget. This is the golden ticket. 6 cars in the fight. Is that what we're going to have? This qualifying session, round 6. Here we go then. Who's in the chat? Who've we got? Justin Lee. Yeah, got a little bit of rest, Chris Poundcoin, welcome in. Yes, Matty, how are we doing, bro? Ernesto's in the ting, and Tax, yes. So we're a few minutes out. 6-horse race is what it's all about. We've had Verstappen versus Leclerc, and that is probably what the championship will be. But listen, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell getting in the mix. This is where the season could turn from potentially a good season into a great season. You know, we had last year, it was only a 2-horse race, 2 drivers. It was literally just Hamilton, Verstappen all year. A fantastic season. But was it as good as 2010, 2012, when you had 5, 6, 7 drivers winning Grand Prix? You know, yeah, we've had the odd, you know, unlikely result. You know, Ricciardo winning in Monza and things like that, but not consistently other people winning. It was just a raw 2-horse race. Now, if we get Mercedes on the pace, you know, and if Sainz can turn around his season a little bit, you can have any one of 6 drivers winning a Grand Prix from now to the end of the season. That's what we need. That's gold dust for the sport. You know, we've not had that, I would argue, since 2012, you know, or even 2010, where you could potentially have 3 teams in contention fighting for the win, and that's potentially what we've got on our hands here. Mercedes, I mean, visually the car looks the same. You know, you're looking at the Aston Martin, and that's visually a lot different. Aston Martin have come out with Red Bull side pods and Red Bull floor. You know, the Aston Martin's come. The Mercedes doesn't look visually much different, but all of a sudden, like, it seems like they found 7 tenths, 8 tenths of a second overnight. Bring it on. Mercedes finding 7, 8 tenths of a second, and like I think they were a tenth of a second away from the fastest time in FP3 a couple of hours ago. A tenth, I think it was 3 tenths of a second in the top 6. 3 tenths of a second between the top 6. I am absolutely, mate, I am ecstatic. How are we going? Yes, Cara. Who's in? Lewis is in. Yes. How are we doing, Lewis? Welcome in. Yeah, welcome in. Hello, Pan. How are we doing? Pansino in the thing. Oh no, we've got our intro tune. We've got it. In fact, I'm going to turn my music off in a minute because we don't want my background music for the full hour. Oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. This is where it starts. When you get the Brian Tyler F1 theme. We're on. This is it now. Qualifying for the 2022 Spanish Grand Prix. It's 5 minutes away and I am buzzing. I want a 6-way shootout for pole position like you've never seen. And it could be a 6-way shootout for pole position. Oh, bring it on. It's gold dust. It's gold. You don't realise. This is a rare thing. You could have George Russell put together a perfect lap and do something special today. You could have Lewis Hamilton, who's been written off this season, knocked out in Q1 in Saudi Arabia, finishing P10, finishing P9, stuff like that. He could pull out. He could remind everyone that he's a 7-time world champion today and go bang. And I cannot wait. Right. What do we say? Mate. Jordan, I am fully gassed, mate. I'm fully gassed because it's all right having Leclerc versus Verstappen, but if we can have Leclerc versus Verstappen versus Hamilton versus Russell versus Sainz, and then maybe a little cheeky Sergio Perez getting involved, now you're talking. Now you are seriously talking. Right, let me turn down. We don't need my background music on for the full hour, do we? So we turn that off and make sure the timing screens are going to update. But couple of minutes away then from Q1. If you don't know how Formula One roll qualifying, I think they've had this qualifying system actually since about 2006, I want to say. So it's split into 3 sections. You've got Q1 to Q2 and Q3. In Q1, the slowest 5 drivers get knocked out. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. If you're in that block of the slowest 5 drivers, your grid position's set. Then we move on to Q2, and it's obviously the top 15 competing Q2. And then 11th through to 15th will get knocked out at the end of Q2. And they're all about, I think Q1's an 18-minute session, Q2's a 15-minute session, and Q3 is the pole position shootout between the top 10. That's a 12-minute session, and that will decide pole position for the Spanish Grand Prix. So if you're in a championship contending car, or you're in a really quick car, the first couple of sessions is just about getting through, getting a banker lap in, getting a lap sort of good enough to get you through to the pole position shootout. If you're in a midfield car or a car that's struggling at the back of the grid, it makes your weekend, it makes your season sometimes to get through to that Q2 session and start further up on the grid for the Grand Prix tomorrow. So that's how it works, and we are underway for Q1 in a couple of minutes. 18-minute session, like I say, and the slowest 5 drivers get knocked out and their grid position will be set. As we move through the sessions, what will happen is the times will be fully reset. So if you get through to Q2, the times don't count anymore. It's fully reset. You go again in Q2. And same for Q3. So that's how it works. How are we going? Erica Sonia. Are you the new version Nathan Carrick? Do you know what? I would fancy myself to be a little bit, tiny little bit better than Nathan Carrick was. No disrespect to the boy, but he had the charisma of a teaspoon. So I just hope that I might be a little bit beyond the comparison of Nathan Carrick, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion. How are we doing? We want Nikita Mazepin back. No, we don't. No, we don't, Chris. In fact, there was a story a few days ago that Nikita Mazepin is joining a off-road rallying series. Not bothered, are you? Do you know what I mean? I'm not bothered. He was the worst driver on the grid. Not just because, he's rushing, getting slung out. He was the worst driver on the grid anyway. So, mate, it's a win-win. They got rid, and look who's taken his place, Kevin Magnussen, and he's had a fantastic start to the season. I think he had a P5 in Bahrain, and he's had a couple of more points finishes up to then. So, You know, he's scored 15 points in the first 5 races, Kevin Magnussen. So Haas are all the better for it. Tell you now. But on the other side of the garage, Mick Schumacher for Haas, he needs to up his game. The problem is he had a brake fire in practice 3. Let me just turn them down a little bit. Yeah, Paul Mick Schumacher had a brake fire in practice earlier on, and he's the one that really needs to sort of turn his season around. And he's having, he's the last driver that needs to have trouble. He needs to be getting in the points. So whether they're even going to get Mick Schumacher's Haas ready or not is a different question. I don't even know if he's going to take part. New gearbox are saying for Mick Schumacher. What are we saying? Yeah, tax. I mean, no, I did like him, to be fair. I don't want to come off with him slagging him off, because I did like him, but not up for being compared to Nick. Mate, he's not the comparison I'm looking for, to tell you the truth. But yeah, we see where we go, innit? So yeah, they're still working flat out on Mick Schumacher's car. The session is underway then. We're already 2 minutes in. Only a couple of cars gone out. Zhou Guan Yu, the Alpha Tauris are out as well. But yeah, like I say, this session's just about not being in the bottom 5, getting through to Q2. Here we go then. Pierre Gasly. First one to put his foot down and go for a flying lap then is Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. Not had a great start to the season, AlphaTauri. Nothing like the pace he had last year compared to the rest of the grid. Like I was saying, Pierre Gasly was regularly top 8, top 6 finisher last season. Unfortunately, he's not able to sort of pull out those kind of performances this season, but here he comes down into turn 5. Here he comes into the quick chicane then. Yeah, he's not pushing. He's not fully on the limit as Pierre Gasly yet. This is sort of just a warm up lap, if you ask me. He's not fully going for broke. We know he's Alexander personally. Yeah, no, it's all right. He's all right. He was all right. Zhou Guan Yu then sets the first flying lap time of the session. 1:21.0, but I bet Pierre's going to beat that. He doesn't. He's a second off, and I knew that lap wasn't the one. That lap wasn't the one from. We see a bit of smoke. We've seen a slow motion replay of Gasly there going through the chicane. A bit of smoke coming out of the back. What's your prediction? You will qualify first, second, and third. In the predictions I did on Thursday, I had Carlos Sainz on pole just because I wanted, I'd love him to do well at his home race. But I'll say now, knowing what I know now from practice, I'll go Verstappen from Leclerc from Hamilton. I'll go Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton. Top 3. Then Sainz, then Perez. Well, Sainz, then maybe Russell, then Perez 6th. Something like that, I'll say. I'll say Hamilton top 3. Pulls it out of the bag. Let's see. He's I don't know, mate. I don't know, Jordan. Chelsea fan Jordan. I don't know what he's doing. He probably not. I would imagine he's just on a recovery mode now. even though he was talking about going live this morning, but it didn't materialise. I think he's probably gone back to bed. Here comes Sergio Perez then, the first one of the big guns to be setting a lap then in this Q1 session. Already 6 minutes gone then. Yes, Josh, how are we doing? I think Russell will pip Hamilton. He's every chance. Russell has been on the pace of Hamilton and even been quicker than him, through this weekend. And not only this weekend, but since he first stepped in that Mercedes, Russell's been straight on Hamilton's pace, and if not outshone him. So, you can't put it past George Russell. You can't put it past George Russell to beat him again. But Lewis might pull something special out of the bag. You know what I mean? When it matters, Lewis might just step it up a couple of tenths and just. You know what I mean? Once he gets a sniff that the car is good, and he sort of gets the full motivation back, because I think he's been on a bit of a back burner. I think now that he might sense that the car is good enough to be competitive, it might just light that spark back up, and Lewis might just you might find him turning the screw a bit and pulling performance out of the bag. Verstappen then, purple in the first two sectors, fastest of anyone, and they do go wide round that new turn 10. They do go extremely wide. I wonder if they're going to enforce track limits there, because he was almost outside the white lines fully there. But it looks like Verstappen's going to go quickest then early doors in Q1. In a couple of minutes, we'll have to start looking down the bottom of the timing screens and looking who's in danger with 10 minutes to go. Yeah, early doors then. Red Bull 1-2. But Ferrari yet to show their hand in qualifying. Yeah, he was snoring. Yeah. Max takes pole. Yeah, Martin, I reckon that's where the smart money's going. Yeah. The smart money's on a Verstappen pole. But you never know. I'd love to see Sainz pull a madness out. But Leclerc's consistently been like 3/10 of a second quicker than him this weekend, which is unfortunate if you're a big Sainz fan. Leclerc just looking like he's got the measure of him. But of course, that's just practice. Doesn't really mean anything. This next 45 minutes is where it means something. These are the laps that count. These are the times that count. Practice, forget it. If you can pull it out of the bag when it really matters, that's where it's rewarded. So Sainz can beat Leclerc now. That's ideal. And quicker than Verstappen. Perez a further half a second back. Here comes Charles Leclerc to the line then. Will Leclerc beat Sainz early doors? And does by 31 thousandths of a second then. The two Ferraris. Verstappen only two tenths back. So Ferrari looking decent. Mercedes yet to show their hand then. We'll just cut to Lewis Hamilton on a flying lap then round the long turn 12, I think that is, down into the chicane, and Russell with a purple in the first sector, fastest of anybody for George Russell. Here comes Lewis Hamilton then round the final corner. What kind of a pace have Mercedes got this weekend? Can he put the cat amongst the pigeon? Boom, P4 for Lewis Hamilton then. How much is he off the pace? And Russell beats that. So Mercedes pop up into 4th and 5th then. 3.5, 4 tenths off the pace at the minute. We see Roger Federer in the Mercedes garage. Absolute GOAT. The tennis GOAT in the Mercedes garage. Fair play. But yeah, early doors. Ferrari looking good then. Verstappen up there. Perez has not really put together a representative lap, really. Sort of more than half a second, 6-7 tenths off the pace. Norris up in 8th. Magnussen 9th. Few drivers not even set a lap time then, including the two Alpines that are just starting their quick laps now. Ocon crosses the line, as I say, that up into P9. Fernando Alonso, his home race. What can he do? I've predicted Alonso getting a top 5 in the race tomorrow. He's going to have to pull a lap out of the bag here to even get through. But that's a good first sector. Then he's only 8/100ths of a second slower than Charles Leclerc in the first sector is Fernando Alonso. So that's a pretty good pace. Go on, Fernando. Be great to see him. Be great to see a Fernando resurgence. He's been unlucky this year so far in the first 5 races. He deserves a rub of the green, does Fernando Alonso. I think he's still got it. He's still got the pace, you know. He's still got it. Yes, Josh. Hey, Josh, that was sick. That Pro Clubs last night. I really enjoyed it, man. Thanks for setting that up, Josh. That was good fun last night. I am terrible at FIFA, but that was a good laugh. That was a good laugh last night. Scored a couple of goals as well. You know what I mean? Not that bad. But yeah, we start to look at the elimination zone then. 6 minutes to go. Both Williams down there. Stroll for Aston Martin. Gasly, Mick Schumacher down there as well. Yeah, the attention turns to the people that potentially might get knocked out here in Q1. And the grid positions will be set. Ricciardo right on the bubble as well. Ricciardo only in 15th. He's been struggling really this season to really get off the... He had a good race in Australia, his home Grand Prix. I think he finished 6th. But other than that, he's been struggling to get in the points as Daniel Ricciardo. Sergio Perez off then, going right across the gravel at turn 8. Turn 7-8 chicane is rapid there as well. You don't want to be scooting across the gravel there, because you're going at a serious yeah, this is what Martin Brundle's saying as well. You're going at a serious rate of knots going across there, and the floor is so crucial this year because a lot of the aerodynamic performance is in the floor this year, so you don't want to be absolutely scraping the hell out of it, bouncing over the gravel at 100 mile an hour. You know, I think Norris went wide in practice yesterday. Went wide at the exit of turn 9. Went over the serrated curb at the very far edge of the circuit. Even went into the gravel, and he's doing like 160 mile an hour. He scraped all the floor, and they had to bring the car straight back into the garage, take the floor off, and he didn't do any more running for the rest of the session because he just wrecked it. And you know, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. I think, you know, you can't be so rough with the cars this year. You can't be bouncing over the curbs as much as you could last year because the floor's so critical. Ernesto got out work early. Rob's going to told Denver if he faded. Yeah, he what happened was I faded, and then I think like I've seen a little bit of it back, and I think within half an hour of me gone, he was gone. Do you know what I mean? It was over. So yeah, we didn't survive to tell the story, Ernesto. We faded. Yes, Anto, how are we doing, bro? Matty Parker's in. Bit of a lull here. They're all going to the guys probably from, I'd say, Zhou Guanyu down, so that's P8 downwards. Will all come out again. I mean, they might all come out again. The whole field might come out again, but I'd say from 8th down, you're in danger of being knocked out. So they'll definitely come out for one flying lap. They're in putting a brand new set of soft tyres on, and they'll go for one more run to avoid being in that bottom 5. Yeah. 2 minutes 40 to go then in Q1. In fact, I never got the green flag on, did I? Green flag. Should have had that on 10 minutes ago, but you know what I mean. Forgive me, innit? Here we go then. 2 minutes to go. This is where it really matters now, especially for the guys in the midfield and the guys towards the back of the pack. These are the laps that can make or break their weekend. You know, you're in a Williams or you're in a Williams or a Haas or an Aston Martin. You want to get through. You just want to get through to Q2. Start higher up on the grid. You don't want to be languished at the back. Latifi dead last at the minute. Schumacher 19th, Gasly 18th, Stroll 17th, Albon 16th. They're the guys in trouble. Ricciardo on the bubble as well. He needs to improve. But yeah, everyone from 8th down. Perez has stayed in the garage then. Perez is risking it, but that'll be a good enough lap time to be safe, I feel. The top 3 haven't gone out either, but both Mercedes drivers have. Russell in 4th, Hamilton in 5th have both gone out at the end of this session. Yeah, Mercedes aren't even going to get to do another lap, but it's alright anyway. They're 4th and 5th. They've timed it too late. I don't know why they even went out again, because they're not going to get to the line in time. With 57 seconds left, you've got to cross the start line to start your lap before the time runs out. And they're not going to make it. But the thing is, they're in 4th and 5th anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is what matters. Mick Schumacher down in 19th. He's got to give it everything he's got. And he's just about green for the time he needs to get out of that bottom 5 at the minute. Is Mick Schumacher to beat Daniel Ricciardo, who's in 15th at the moment. And that's what's critical. These guys aren't going for pole position. This is just about getting out of that bottom 5. Oh, look how this car's scraping on the ground through turn 9, then almost flat out down into the newly profiled turn 10, then a lot faster than it has been for the last 20 years. Now you've got the slow understeering corner of turn 12. Down into the final little chicane for Mick Schumacher then. Come on, lad. Come on. Let's get the season started, Mick. Come on, Mick. Crosses the line. Boom! Up into P8 for Mick Schumacher. Get in, lad. He might be alright with that. Kevin Magnussen goes P5. The track's rubbering in. I tell you what, these people in danger. Perez might be in danger here. Stroll barely improves, then Stroll's out. The Haas guys massively improved. They're both in the top 10, Haas. Vettel just squeezes himself out at the minute, then up into P13. Stroll's definitely out. Latifi's definitely out. Pierre Gasly then pops up into P11, puts Tsunoda out for now. Alonso's right on the bubble as well. Here comes Ricciardo up to P10 then. So he's safe. Yuki Tsunoda pops up then. This is knocking Fernando Alonso out at home. Where are the Alpines? Ocon's in the pits. Oh my God. And Fernando's not going to do a lap. That's it. Both. Oh, Ocon's just survived it in P15. So Vettel and Alonso both out. Vettel 16th. Alonso, who I predicted to get P5, needs a bit of luck. Will start the Spanish Grand Prix from 17th. Lance Stroll's out as well in 18th. So both Aston Martins out. Alonso in the Alpine. Ocon scrapes through by the skin of his teeth. And the 2 Williams at the back. Albon's 7/10 off the time he needed. And Latifi is second back. I can't believe it. And Vettel can't believe it. Both Astons out. Both Williams out. And Alonso in the Alpine. Yes, JJ. How are we going, bro? Hit that. Yeah, Ernesto. Cheers, Ernesto, bro. Vettel's out, man. Yeah. Vettel and Alonso are out. You know, you might be bringing, Aston Martin. bringing Red Bull side pods or something extremely similar to a Red Bull side pod design, and a Red Bull floor again, or something extremely similar to the Red Bull floor. But they haven't got Red Bull pace, have they? Sebastian Vettel out in Q1. And in a few minutes we move on to Q2 then, and that will be all about getting in that critical top 10 shootout. And once we get in that top 10 shootout, then we're alive and kicking. That's when we get to see, what have Mercedes got? What have Ferrari got? What have Red Bull got? And can anybody else get in amongst it? You know, Bottas has looked quick. He could pull something out of the back. I tell you what, both Haas cars at the end of that session were rapid as well. I think Mick Schumacher went bang, popped up into the top 10, and then Magnussen went like 5th. So, you know, they saved the best till last then to get out of that session. Vettel couldn't believe it. I know. I think Jordan, he got knocked out by like something like 77 thousandths of a second. Like it was close. Ocon is through by the skin of his teeth there. That was really close. But yeah, gutted. You know, Aston Martin coming with the Red Bull stuff, but they're both out in Q1, so goes to show you can't just copy someone else's. You know, oh, Red Bull are fast. You know, let's see the sculpture of their side pod. Let's see right. Let's bolt that on our car. Boom, rapid. Nah, it's a combination of so many things, thousands of things that makes the car fast, and you know that just proves it. It might look like a Red Bull, but it ain't. Yeah, Mercedes still looking good. Yeah, still up there. Whether they've got pole position pace, I'd love it. I'd love it if they did have pole position pace, but they might be stretching it a bit for them to be in the fight for pole. But they could get in amongst the Ferraris and Red Bulls. They could sort of, let's say Sainz, you know, the Ferraris and Red Bulls, if they don't get together a perfect lap, let's say, you could see the Mercedes beating one or two of them. So they could, you know, punch their way into the top 6. Can Mercedes? I mean, if they get pole, mega season on. But that might be a stretch. Red Bull gives you wings, yeah. How ironic's that with Aston Martin's logo being wings as well? But they might get in trouble for that as well, because Red Bull team principal Christian Horner is not happy with that at all, and rightly so. You know, and the thing is, I think they've had, I don't know if it's like a technical officer or someone high up in the Red Bull operation has recently left to go to Aston Martin, and all of a sudden Aston Martin come out with that. You're telling me, you know, that's a bit of a coincidence. I don't know whether it was an aerodynamicist or, you know, someone in the technical division, or I don't know exactly who it was, but someone has left Red Bull and gone to Aston Martin, you know, within the last 6-9 months. And then Aston come out with this. So, you know, Red Bull, you know, Christian Horner was saying, you know, it's a criminal offence if he's taken actual like data, like computer data and stuff, and said, listen, this is what Red Bull are doing. This is rapid. You know, bit of a nod and a wink and a nudge. Let's do that. Here's the data. Boom. Here's the file. This is how it works. Hey, you're in serious. Sure. Christian Horner saying that was a criminal offence, mate. You can't be doing that. But that team's been in a bit of trouble before, because they copied Mercedes, didn't they? They come out with a car that was virtually identical to a Mercedes a couple of years ago when they were Racing Point. So they've got previous with this. They don't mind doing a copy and paste. Whoever's behind the scenes there in Aston Martin, and if they were behind the scenes 2-3 years ago, they don't mind doing a copy and paste. There's got a bit of history of it, so bit of a dodgy one that, because they could get in serious trouble. And I tell you something, if they were quick, if Aston Martin were rapid here, you can bet every other team's protesting it, mate. Everyone's coming out of the shell and protesting that. If Vettel's like top 5, if Vettel was like top 5 or something mad, or you get like a Stroll just banging like a top 5, mate, you best believe everyone's on a protest mode. But because there's like, what are they? 16th and 18th, it might not be pursued much further. They might get away with it. Pink Mercedes, yeah, that's what it was, man. Pink Mercedes. How do you know that, Jordan? That's your Drive to Survive knowledge coming out, isn't it? That's definitely a Drive to Survive storyline. That was peak Drive to Survive. The pink Mercedes, yeah. Jail time. That's what they're saying, Matty. Yeah, you can't just, like Christian Horner was saying, like, you can't take the knowledge that he's got in his head. If he's got the knowledge, he can share the idea of, you can't restrict someone that much to absolute secrecy. You can't enforce that, but you can't be taking, if it proves that they've taken like actual data from one team to another, then that's when you're in serious trouble. So, but they're clear to race. Apparently the stewards are happy with the Aston Martin, and it's clear to race. So, I think, like I say, it's result dependent. I think they'll kick up a fuss if it's rapid, and it doesn't look rapid, so they might not kick up that much of a fuss. It's just the way Formula One goes. DRS all the way. Yeah, DRS is fully activated in qualifying, lads. So you would love qualifying Denver, because DRS is fully on, mate. Yeah, you don't have to be within a second of anyone in qualifying. You get DRS every single lap. So get in. Yeah, he's in. It's all the way. Having a sesh tonight. Hey, yeah, you're having a sesh tonight. The fridge. Dem's on a fridge mode. Right, anyway. We are into Q2 then, 11 and a half minutes to go. This is when it starts to get serious. The bottom 5 are gone. This is, if you get through this session, you're into the pole position shootout. So this will set the grid. When the time runs out, who's ever 11th through to 15th, their positions will then be set, and the top 10 go through to the pole position shootout. And here they come then, starting to come out of the pit lane. You've got a McLaren trying to do a practice start on the pit apron. I don't know what he's doing there. But here they come then. Recording. Am I recording? Mic check. Am I recording? I'm definitely recording. I'm definitely. F1's on. I'm definitely recording. Here come the Ferraris then. Are we gonna get this elusive 6-way battle for pole position? That is what I would love to see. And Mercedes did look pretty decent in that first qualifying session, but not as decent as the final practice session a few hours ago. They were like a tenth off the pace. I was like, this is on. But they could turn up the wick here now in Q2 and prove that they really are in the mix. Here comes Lewis then. Looks like Hamilton's going to be the first one to go for a flying lap here and then in Q2. Can he put the hammer down? Can he prove that it's not just a flash in the pan, one session they're quick? They had one session where they were quick in Miami, then it came to the real business and they weren't on it. They've had one session where they're quick today, this morning. But can they translate that into real pace when it really matters? This is where we're going to find out. Going to be a nervy one. Oh yeah, final day of the Premier League, and it is going to be a nervy one for you lot. 1,000,000%. Bottle it. Matty's favourite thing is bottling it, mate. That's his favourite saying. Russell's gone quicker than Hamilton then in Sector 1. I tell you what, George Russell, he's not on the other side of the garage to Lewis Hamilton thinking, oh no, he seems like he's not under pressure. He seems free. You see other drivers go up against like a multiple world champion teammate and crumble. George Russell has not crumbled. Formula One is sink or swim, and George Russell has swam. And he's rapid. He's straight on the pace. And there it's proved immediately. Russell immediately 0.3 of a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Straight off the bat in Q2. We see how it's going to pan out in the end. But with 5 races in, this is race 6 tomorrow. And Russell's like 20 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton in the Drivers' Championship. There's not many people that have predicted that. I tell you now. George Russell's taken to it like a duck to water, as they say. Ocon pops into the top 5 then. Oh, get in. Stop the count. Both Hassers in the top 4. Have I got the live time? Yeah, the live timing's on. Both Hassers in the top 4, but people are just starting to set the representative lap times now. Perez pops up into P3. Interestingly then, Perez doesn't beat the Mercedes. Here comes Carlos Sainz round the final corner then. Where's he going to put his Ferrari? Comes across the line. P5. That's not the lap he was looking for Carlos Sainz. Here comes Charles Leclerc then. Beats that up into P4. But Ferrari 4th and 6th at the moment. Mercedes still 1 and 2. Here comes Max Verstappen to the line. Still can't beat the Mercedes. Wow. Is this it? Are Mercedes back? 7 minutes to go in Q2, so there's still more time for everyone to improve. And remember, if you get through to the Q3 session, the times are reset anyway. So this doesn't decide pole position. This decides 11th through to 15th. So it's just about not being in the bottom 5. We see a replay on board with Lewis Hamilton then through the final chicane. And he loses the back end just coming out of the second to last corner. The exit of the chicane. Good laps. They were good laps. Lewis had the wrong car. What do you mean he had the wrong car, Anto? He had the wrong. Now he's in the right car now. That's it, Anto. You cracked it. He did the first 5 races in the wrong car. What can you say? Cracked it. I reckon he's in the right car now. You know what I mean? I reckon this is the right car, mate. They look quick. I don't know how they found 7-8 of a second between Miami and Spain, but they have. And that's brilliant for the season. I'm not going to lie, that is brilliant for the sport. Brilliant for the sport that Lewis and Mercedes in general have found 7/10 of a second between Miami and Spain. I mean, listen, that's early days. It's the paint hasn't set yet. We're not there yet, but it does look good. It does look like Mercedes have come out of the bag here in Spain and gone, yeah. We had the first 5 races off, but now we're back. Well up for it. Yes, James. How are we doing? An old friend from many years ago. How are we doing, bro? Are you into this? Do you watch this, James? You know I've always been a fan of this. James will know that I should have been doing this 15 years ago, James. You know that. Because this is my passion. And from way back when in the school days. But yeah, 4.5 minutes to go in Q2. Mercedes still 1 and 2. Everyone's back in the garage then changing the tyres, and they're going to go for one more run. And at the moment then, Ricciardo's in the bottom 5, Ocon, Zhou Guanyu and both Alpha Tauris. My bird asked me to find 7 seconds. What are you on about, Anto? Yeah, you need to find 7 seconds. Yeah, just jump in that Mercedes. That'll speed you up. That'll speed you up, Anto. But I saw a replay before of Fernando Alonso. He looked like he got well held up in at the end of Q2 there. So it's like not even his fault again. What is with Alonso and his bad luck? Right, got a team radio here from Pierre Gasly. Yeah, they're messing around at the pit exit. I picked up on that a few minutes ago. Daniel Ricciardo like messing about in the pit exit, try to do like a practice start, like at pit lane exit, holding everyone up. Like, you can't be doing that. Here we go then. 3 minutes to go in Q2. This is where it gets juicy now, because the guys at the bottom are going to be scrambling trying to get in that top 10. Love the channel. Yes, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I have been. This is me. So, I should have been doing this 15 years ago, but we're there now. We'll grow this. Do you know what I mean? We'll be on it. Everyone coming out of the garage now. Brand new set of soft tyres for everybody. 2.5 minutes to go in Q2. This is where you've got to go balls to the wall now. I tell you what, they look after the tyres so much on the outlaps. They really do. This trend has started a couple of years ago where they're really delicate with the tyres on the outlap. That is causing nightmares, because you have some people on flying laps and some people on the outlap, and like you're doing the outlap doing like 30-40 mile an hour, just really trying to preserve the tyres as much as possible, and then someone's bombing past you at 200 mile an hour on a flying lap, and it's just dangerous. They've got to have like a minimum lap time for an outlap. They've got to, because it gets dangerous at some tracks, especially around the shorter laps. Here we go then. So both Mercedes aren't coming out. Yeah, so everyone's out apart from both Mercedes. They think they've done enough to get in the top 10, and I agree with them. They've done enough, and Charles Leclerc's not out. Everyone else is out. The other 12 drivers are all out then. We're on board then. Helmet cam with Carlos Sainz through turn 1, 2, and the long turn 3. Yeah, it's looking nice. They used to go way wide over that green AstroTurf, but not anymore. They must have been told off for doing that. Down into turn 5 then, downhill braking. Yeah, it's nice. He's not having to rag the wheels off the thing. It turns in really nice. Nice through turn 7. You can't take too much of that sausage curb on the right hand side through turn 8. And this is nearly flat out turn 9. Yeah, that's nice. Not too wide. He's got a car in the way there. A bit of porpoising, his head bouncing round into turn 10, the newly profiled faster turn 10 this year. 11, 12's a long, slow corner. You've got to wait. You've got to be so patient with the throttle. Comes out then out the exit. And now he's in the tight section now. Last couple of corners, through the tight chicane, over one curb, over the other curb. Wow, in the helmet cam, that is vicious. Through the final corner then, flat out. Here we go then, Carlos Sainz. And goes quickest then. The Mercedes have been beaten in Q2 by 17 thousandths of a second. Mick Schumacher crosses the line, stays 9th. He's in trouble. He is in serious trouble of getting knocked out then, Mick Schumacher. Here comes Pierre Gasly to the line, last at the moment in P15, up to 13th. Gasly's out then, definitely. Sonoda's out, both AlphaTauri's out then in Q2. These are the final laps and everyone crossing the line. Magnussen pops up into P4. Get in the bag. Up into P4. Zhou Guanyu's definitely out as well then, P15. Ricciardo pops up into 9th. Is he safe with that? Is he safe with that? I don't know. Here comes Lando Norris. Boom, up into P7. Pushes Ricciardo back down to so if Ocon can improve, Verstappen goes quickest. If Ocon can improve, Ricciardo's out. Where's Esteban Ocon? He's out. Oh, Mick Schumacher 11th as well. So close to getting through. Ricciardo again by the skin of his teeth. He was 15th in Q1, P10 in Q2. Talk about just about doing enough. Zhou Guanyu's out then. Pierre Gasly's out. Oh! And someone else has just popped a lap in there at the end. There's Mick Schumacher. He's through. The cameras weren't even on him. I think Mick Schumacher just pulled an absolute worldie out of the bag. Oh, Norris is out. That's what it is. So Norris has had a lap deleted, what it was. It's not Mick Schumacher improving. It's Norris with a lap delete situation. Oh no. Where's he gone wide? We need to see a replay of what's happened with Lando Norris. So that automatically promotes Mick Schumacher up into the top 10 then. Oh, Norris 11th. Ocon 12th. Tsunoda 13th. Gasly 14th. Zhou Guanyu 15th. Both Hasses through to the top 10 shootout. Alonso stuck in. Yeah. Alonso got Jordan. Alonso got stuck, man, at the end of Q1. I don't exactly know what happened, but we need to see. They're going to an ad break now. We don't even know why Norris got his lap deleted. Like, we know it's track limits, but where? Both Hasses in the top 10 shootout. I'm here for that every day. I'm here for that. Yeah, so Q3. I tell you what, it took to right to the end of the session for Mercedes to be beaten then. They were 1 and 2 right until the very death. I think Verstappen went round again and just pipped him right at the end of the session. But by then the track's already more rubbered in. It would have gone, got quicker naturally by a couple of tenths. So could we see a Mercedes on pole? Could we see Mercedes have pulled a massive resurrection out of the bag? If they pull a pole position out of the bag here, it's the biggest resurrection you've ever seen, because they were dead in the first couple of races of the season. I think Lewis was 16th in Saudi Arabia in quali. Hey, they were dead. How they found 0.8 of a second between the last race and here is madness, absolute madness. Like, teams are absolutely buzzing if they find 1/10 of a second. 1/10 of a second in Formula One's massive. 0.2 of a second, mate, get the champagne out. 0.7 of a second. It's suspiciously quick. It's a suspiciously massive upgrade that is just brought right back into the mix. Bring it on. Mick made it, yeah, Matty. Mick made it. Get in. I'm a bit of a Mick Schumacher fan, to tell you the truth. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm quite neutral these days. I used to be a big Hamilton fan back in the day, but as the years have gone on, I've sort of mellowed into like a nice neutral situation where I just want a good race, and whoever's in second going for the lead, I'm cheering that person on. Whoever's the one going for the move, I'm cheering that guy on. You know what I mean? I've found a nice perspective on Formula One these days, where I'm not too emotionally connected to one particular driver, because that was my downfall for years. You get too connected to one driver, and then they crash out or they get a puncture or something happens or a technical issue, reliability issue, it ruins your week. You can't be... So you're better off looking at it from a neutral perspective and just wanting a good race. And over the years, I've slowly mellowed to that. But having said all that, I'd still love to see Mick Schumacher do well for his father's sake. You know, he's a legendary name, and you know, and you'd love to see young Mick Schumacher do well. Here we see a replay of Alonso then, how he got muddled up in Q1. He's not had the best of luck, Fernando Alonso. He's got like stuck in traffic. Here's the interview with Alonso. Then he's not going to be happy here. Yeah, it is the team's fault. He's blaming the team. You've got to be careful. You've got to sort of... Yeah, you've got a time when you're going out of the pits, so you've got enough time to get round to start the lap, and you've got to take into account everyone else doing exactly the same thing, and they can get it wrong. Like, I've seen situations that like in the Italian Grand Prix where they all miss they run out of time. Everyone runs out of time, and they literally don't cross the line, and the times ran out. You've seen just big shambles like that in previous years. And Alonso looks like he's had a bit of a timing issue where the team sent him out too late, or he's ended up getting stuck in traffic. And like I say, they're all going really slow, trying to save the tyres for the big flying lap. And he's just got caught up in traffic, and an absolute nightmare. I had him P5 in my predictions as well. I tell you what, if he finishes P5 and my prediction's correct, he's had the best race of his career. I think he's like 18th, isn't he? 17th he is, Fernando Alonso. Did Norris go off track? Yeah, he must have, Jordan. But I've not seen a replay of it, but he must have gone off track. And the new race director this season is apparently very strict with off track. He comes from sports car. He was the race director for WEC, the World Endurance Championship, and the new race director. And the word is that he's very strict when it comes to track limits. So if you go outside if you go both wheels outside the white lines, he will just delete your lap time. You know, he was apparently very strict with that. Because they've been a bit lenient really in the last few years with that. They've sort of given a warning, then given a second warning, then given a third warning, and now it sort of seems like a bit of a clamp down on going too wide, or because if you open up, I imagine he's gone too wide at turn 10 and gone off the track, because then he can carry more speed, so it's an advantage. It sounds counterproductive, but it's actually an advantage to go wide in turn 10, because it means you can brake later and you can cut the angle of the corner, so you can, instead of it being like a 130 degree angle, you can make it 120 degree if you just brake later and carry more speed through and go wide. So in essence, you're carrying more speed through. It's faster. So this is where they're really clamping down on it, and I reckon it'd be my best guess that he's gone wide at turn 10, and the race director has gone boom, delete. And he's been slung. So then now Norris had his fastest lap time deleted. Then it'll go back to whatever his next best lap time was, and clearly that wasn't enough to get him in the top 10. So he's gone. So we've got both. Oh no. Yeah, we're all right. So we've got both Red Bulls, both Ferraris, both Mercedes, both Haas. And then we've got Bottas in the Alfa Romeo still in, and Ricciardo for McLaren. And here we go for Q3. Seen the replay? So I haven't seen a replay, me. Or maybe I have, but I was talking over Wasn't concentrating. Yeah, here we go, Chris. Pole position shootout. Ty was literally on the white line. Yeah. If he's over that white line, if he's inside wheel, he's outside of that white line by a millimetre. Boom, delete. So they've got to be careful. He got slung, mate. Yeah, he did. It's happened to him before. Do you know, Lando Norris had a pole position on lockdown in Imola last year, and they slung it. He got pole position, and then they said, "Nah, you went outside track limits." Boom, delete, and they deleted his lap, and he was on pole. So he's done it before. He's done it before in a worse scenario than this. Yeah, he had pole position, and they deleted him. So he's got to be careful, Lando Norris. Here we go. Then they're on the flying laps in Q3. This is where it matters. This is the big pole position shootout in Spain. Could it be 6 cars in the fight for pole position for the first time this season? Hamilton purple in the middle sector then. Fastest of anybody. Come on, Lewis. Pull a lap out of the bag. The 7-time world champion. Is he going to be back in Spain? He's had the first 5 races off. Is it round 6? Is he back in the mix? Quickest for now, but he's first across the line, so that's not hard. Now, what can Sainz do? Here comes Carlos Sainz round the final corner then. Hamilton set a bar of 119.6, and it's a 119.4 for Carlos. And Charles Leclerc spun at the final chicane. Haha, gets in. No way. Leclerc spun, man. He's in the pit, so Leclerc will probably have one shot then at the end of quali. That's not gone to plan for Carlos Sainz. I always get him mixed up. I always say the wrong name. Yeah, it's not gone well for Charles Leclerc there. Here comes Verstappen round the final corner. Then he's gone fastest in sector 1. Boom! Verstappen goes P1 by 3.5 tenths of a second. Sainz P2 at the minute. Perez 3rd. Mercedes 4th and 5th. And Leclerc in the pits after spinning. Let's see a replay of that. Yeah, you got to put a brand new set of boots on that one, Charles. Ricardo pops up into P7. Then here we go for a replay then on board with Charles Leclerc coming round the last couple of corners into the tight chicane then. And yeah, just drops the rear end. Whoa. Low speed one. Let's have another look at this. It was already sliding. Yeah, he just completely lost the rear end on the entry. On the entry to the corner. Wow. Who's my money on tomorrow? Smart money's on Max Verstappen, I think. But I'd love to see Mercedes, a Mercedes victory. Either one of them, Lewis or Russell, winning would probably be my favourite result, because it would mean not only that they're back, but it mean that we've 6 cars that can fight for every single win from now on. For the other, I mean, we've got 22 races. Quick maths. What, for another 17 races? We can have, everyone fighting, all 6 cars fighting for victories. So, that's what we want. We want 16 Grand Prix where 2-horse races are fine. Verstappen versus Leclerc, that's fine. That can be great, as we saw last year with Hamilton versus Verstappen. It can be great, but you're not beating 2012 when you've got 7 different winners in the first 7 races. That's a proper season. That's a proper season, and we could be brewing towards that. And that's why I'm absolutely buzzing. So yeah, the first shot of Q3, Verstappen has put a marker down then, a 19 flat. 3.5 tenths quicker than Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. 4 tenths quicker than his teammate Sergio Perez in the other Red Bull. And at the moment then, Mercedes 6 tenths off the pace. Come on. And Leclerc, obviously, with that spin, he's not set a time then. So Leclerc under pressure will have a one chance. Unless they do like a back-to-back kind of 2 flying laps back-to-back, but that's not the general way, especially in Spain. The tyres, the soft tyres, you get one phenomenal lap. And lap 2, they've not quite got the grip. So I would doubt that he's going to do a back-to-back Leclerc. So it might just be one shot. But this is it. All put in a brand new set of boots. And we go for one more time. I'm surprised both Haas in the top 10. That's mega. Here we go. Leclerc first one out then for the final laps. 3.5 minutes to go in Q3. This is the battle for pole position for the 2022 Spanish Grand Prix. I'll be live at 10 to 2 tomorrow afternoon for the race starting at 2 o'clock. So join me for that one. Are we gonna have a Mercedes? Both Mercedes in the top 6. Should be. Can they beat a Red Bull? Can they beat a Ferrari? But look at how slow they do these outlaps. This is what I'm talking about. They're literally nursing these tyres. But it's to a ridiculous extent. If there was someone, theoretically, there's not. But theoretically, if someone was on a flying lap, now, this is just raw dangerous. To have them just coasting round. If someone's on a flying lap, now, you could cause havoc. Yeah, so Leclerc looks like he's first. He's going to be first across the line. Is Leclerc. Then Sainz is going to be behind him. One of the Red Bulls is going to be the last one across the line. I don't know if it's Verstappen or Perez. Max will get pole. Yeah, smart money would be on Verstappen. I'd love to see Carlos Sainz get it at home. That would be mega. And obviously a Mercedes would be a massive statement as well if one of the Mercedes guys can get it. But yeah, your smart money's on. Is Leclerc at a disadvantage now with one run? Is that it? This is all or nothing for Charles Leclerc then. And he's the first one. Yeah, it's a very big lap for Charles Leclerc, as Martin Brundle says. Round turn 4 he comes then. And Sainz behind him coming through turns 2 and 3 now. So they're going to be the first ones across the line. The 2 Ferraris are going to be the first one to sort of set the bar. And whatever time they set now is it. This is their best and final attempt. Leclerc green is set to 1 but not purple. Not fast as anyone, but is rapid in the middle sector, Charles Leclerc. And just stays within their track limits on the exit of turn 10 then. So his lap time won't be deleted. Sainz down to turn 9 as we see Leclerc coming through the final chicane. Don't spin it this time, lad. And doesn't. He's out of there fine. Oh, Verstappen's complaining, no power. Here comes Leclerc across the line, and boom, by 0.3 of a second, and 18.7 for Charles Leclerc. He puts down the marker. Here comes the hometown hero, Carlos Sainz, round the final corner then. What can he do about Leclerc with an 18.7? Nowhere near it. He's half a second off for Carlos Sainz. Third at best. But Verstappen can't improve. Russell's rapid in the first sector as well. Here come Mercedes. But Verstappen won't be on pole position. He's got engine issues. Magnussen pops up into P7. Go on then, George. He comes round the last sector now into the tight chicane. Don't spin it now, George. You've got a good lap in the belt. Here he comes then. George Russell round the final corner. Bottas pops into P7. Here comes George Russell to the line. P4 only. Ahead of Sergio Perez. He beats a Red Bull then. Where's Lewis Hamilton? And that's it. Leclerc on pole position then. Despite spinning on the first run, he put it all together in the second run. Leclerc on pole. Verstappen with problems. Still will start P2. Sainz P3. Where was Lewis's lap? Where was Lewis's lap? Non-existent. Verstappen second. Leclerc on home soil P3. Russell then pops up, beats a Red Bull. Perez fifth. Hamilton only sixth then. Where was his final attempt? Bottas P7, Magnussen P8, Ricciardo P9, Mick Schumacher 10th. Big statement for the championship, but what's happened to Max Verstappen's Red Bull in the final stages? Lewis 6th, man. Did he even do a final lap? Here we go then, on board with Max Verstappen for a replay then. Yeah, he's come out of turn, he's halfway through turn 3. And he's got a problem. What can you do? Reliability issues again for Red Bull. But it's not the end of the world. He's still on the front row. It's not bad when you can have engine issues and still be on the front row, is it? So, you know, it's not the end of the world for Max Verstappen, but they'll be on a full investigation mode this afternoon, finding out what went wrong there. But Mercedes then. The bubbles burst a little bit. 4th and 6th is good. But I was hoping for a Mercedes to break into the top 3. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping for a George Russell, bang, P2 or something like that. Or a Lewis Hamilton, bang, P3 or something. But still decent. They're still in the mix. But yeah, 4th and 6th for Mercedes. Perez 5th. But Charles Leclerc's your man. Championship leader. Charles Leclerc takes pole position in Spain. So yeah, join me tomorrow. Leclerc smashed it there, yeah. But yeah, that is about it from me. Listen, join me tomorrow. I will be live at 10 to 2 UK time for a 2 o'clock race start for the 2022 Spanish Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc from pole position. Max Verstappen with a dodgy Red Bull in P2. Can they iron out all the problems for tomorrow? And Carlos Sainz from P3. So listen, peace out, guys. Drop a like on the stream if you have enjoyed it. Let's get YouTube noticing me a little bit, and let's get on the Formula One list. That was a good one. Peace out, guys. Oh, that's wrong, by the way. The next stream's not practice 3, so just ignore that. The next stream's the actual Grand Prix at 10 to 2, so just ignore that graphic at the bottom there. There's a lot of things that I have to update in between streams, and that's something that I've missed. So, I am sorry about that. But yeah, next stream is not practice 3, because we've just had quality. Next stream is the race, so get in there, the lads.